Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Ursuma.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for Bill Barnes on the weekly Wednesday weigh-in. The retired police officer and retired college baseball umpire joins us every single week for very strong opinions and very random thoughts. Once again, here's the one and only Bill Barnes. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. We should add one other tidbit to that resume.
Sure.
I'm also a retired short order cook at Palo Chicken, circa 1976-77, Riverside, California, at the corner of University and Chicago, where I slaved away over a hot fry stove for many Friday nights, giving up my social life to make a measly $15 a week for gas money. But I did meet Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, a lot of the racers that used to race at Riverside International Raceway.
Wow.
That and perhaps $1 will give you a bag of chips out of a vending machine. So just want to throw that in.
Wow. We got to update the resumes here. That's what you're saying.
It's huge.
We'll get them posted. I mean,
Huge.
I want accuracy here on
I would
the
have
podcast.
to, I used to go home and my mother would make me get undressed in the garage because I smelled like a big piece of fried chicken. And I was greasy, filthy, a rotten mess. And that was my Friday nights. And that's why I probably grew up very, very socially awkward, because I didn't have a normal junior and senior year, because Friday nights I had to spend working as a kid. Kind of a novel. I know that approach and that's
child abuse.
It's absolute child abuse.
Child labor.
That's why I'm scarred to this day.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
That's a whole nother set of.
I'm so sorry, Bill. I knew you
could dive into at some other point in time.
I knew you had a rough background, but my goodness, that is just heartbreaking, Bill. Little Bill Barnes.
Yeah,
and look where he's at now, guys. Doing a podcast weekly.
God, I've really gone up in the world.
Yeah.
Span of 45 years, I've gone from bad to worse.
Well, Bill walked in this morning, hot as his cup of coffee. He was ready to go. Lots of things to talk about. We just filmed our Facebook Live show, kind of the preview appetizer of what we're going to talk about. So thanks for all those who have watched that, and hopefully we get a few more questions here. But let's start it off with some questions today. But let's start it off a little loose.
Let's go. Let's
go happy.
Yeah, let's get stupid.
Yeah.
Shall we?
We cannot. It is not a weekly Wednesday weigh-in without you, but also our good friend Margie. Margie,
bless you, my dear. I've heard from you this week. You're doing better. You got that little minor surgery out of the way, and you're on to bigger, better things. And you look great. You sound great. You probably are great. And anyway, you have a question.
Yes.
What's the question?
Yes. This was written in. Margie's always so proper too, but she always sends a nice email, just nice format. You know, we take any communication here, but I do appreciate the nice emails, Margie. She says, "Hey, Matt and Bill, I wanted to say thank you for the nice shout out last week. 2 years cancer-free so far." Absolutely. Great stuff. She says, "Makes you appreciate every day that much more." Happy to hear it. She says, "So here's a question for Bill. I recently got a ticket. Is there anything I could have done or said to get out of it? And what stories do you have about what women have offered you, Bill, to get out of a ticket?" I guess that's 2 questions. Thanks, Margie. I can't wait to hear Bill's answers on these.
Okay. Let's take the second half of that question first. What women have offered me. Okay.
License and registration, ma'am. And then
I was always very paranoid that our internal affairs people were doing some type of sting operation. So anytime I stopped a woman, I was very professional, very, very above board. Even when they showed me body parts that usually were, like, wow, I would maintain my professionalism and go about my business, whether I cited them or went off with a warning. My particular, so that we'll leave it at that. My personal philosophy on ticket writing was as follows. My job, usually as a patrol officer back in the day, was not to ruin a person's day. I was there to serve, protect, and take care of business. If I witnessed a moving violation, which something of the effect where it almost caused an accident or was unsafe, I had the mindset, especially if I stopped someone that, in my opinion, was not, I repeat, NOT, the enemy. Okay. Your 8 to 5 ham and egg housewife, person on their way to work, tax-paying good citizen that supported police or didn't support police. I don't really care. My philosophy was to educate until such time as we needed to be punitive. And in that case, if they talked themselves into a ticket with their attitude, they got a ticket.
Mhm.
However, most of the folks you stop that do something like that are not the enemy. They are not against you. They are good folks who support police. The last thing in the world I want to do is shift that philosophy to not like us. Now, a lot of people realize I screwed up. I probably deserve that ticket and probably would not be so negative towards cops. However, I wanted to just maintain that extra positive and warn them, educate, smile, have a nice day, be on your way. This is a warning, be safe. So Margie, if I stopped Margie, I would not, unless she got really, mouthy with me and talked herself into a ticket, it's a warning.
What would be something someone would say that talked them into a ticket? Maybe a little disrespect or something?
Well, let's see. Maybe at nighttime, I stopped someone and I maybe smelled a little bit of alcoholic. And I said, "Have you been drinking?" And they said, "Yeah, and I'm horny too."
Okay.
That's usually that's not gonna end well.
No.
All right. Something if they wanted to be a bigger comedian than me, that's usually didn't bode well.
Don't do that.
I stopped a guy one time and he said, "You're a disgrace to the uniform. You need a haircut." And I said, "Well, I guess if I write one more ticket, I'll have enough money to get one." And he got scratched and off he went.
That's a good one.
Things like that.
Okay.
If it's a personal insult.
Okay, you hear all these theories, right? Everyone who thinks they understand, like umpires. Oh, they made that call for this reason or whatever. And I got to question you about cops and ticket writing. All citizens out there thinks, oh, he's just trying to make his quota. Are there these such things as quotas?
No, there are expectations.
Expectations. You see
now,
how the language matters?
I will say this: if you get stopped by a motorcycle officer in a city municipality, their job is to write tickets. Their job is to generate income through tickets and enforce the vehicle code as written. You're probably not going to get off with a warning. Motorcycle cops are there for one reason, and that is to write tickets. They don't handle burglaries. They don't go out and respond to strong arm robberies. In fact, they'll go the other way when one of those comes out. All right. They would much rather write a expired registration ticket than handle a bank robbery.
Okay.
So if motor cop stops you, just be ready for the ticket because it's 99% going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what happened. A short story about why I turned into a educator rather than a ticket writer.
Ooh.
When I was a young cop, very young, probably in my first 6 months on the job, we had expectations when I worked for the Upland Police Department. Whether they are this way now, some 38 years later, I doubt. Okay. But they had expectations. You needed so many monthly moving citations to be in good standing. It was like the 29th of the month and I was running low. And so it's like 12:30 in the morning in Upland on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. About the only thing open at that time of night is San Antonio Hospital. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I went and sat over there. I waited for people to come out. I got behind them and this lady, and I feel like a complete smacked ass to this day.
You're awful.
I am awful. This lady Probably because she just got through working a 12-hour shift in surgical intensive care, probably a nurse. She kind of strayed over the white line a little
She's
bit.
probably thinking about her patients still.
Exactly. So I lit her up, pulled her over, and she was the nicest, sweetest woman. And she was probably in her mid-50s then. So she's probably not with us anymore, if you do the math. God bless her. And she was absolutely, officer. I understand why. Yes, sir. She was so sweet. And the asshole me, 23-year-old jackass, smart ass, full head of hair, all that, thinking he's, crispier than a bag of potato chips. I write her a ticket for lane straddling. What a chicken shit ticket that was. And she was, absolutely, officer. Where do I sign? Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Sweetest woman in the world. 15 minutes after I wrote that ticket, I thought to myself, Bill, you asshole, you complete smacked ass. What is wrong with you? That could have been your mother. This is a nurse. If God forbid you get hurt and you get wheeled into that place, she's the one that's going to, bandage you up and put you back together.
Maybe.
And I'm going, what is wrong with you? So guess what I did? Matt? She was a local resident. I drove to her house. I knocked on her door. She goes, oh my God, what
did I do now?
Yeah, I said, ma'am, give me the ticket. Give me the ticket. She gave it to me. I tore it up right in front of her. I went back to my car. I tore up the ticket. I said, I will never, ever stoop to this kind of low down, low rent shit ever in the rest of my life. This lady was not the enemy. That's my point.
Yeah.
She's not the enemy. She's one of us.
Well, on that note, let's talk about how much we support police and how great they are. Bill, I mean, hey, it's good to know you got a conscience at least. That was
and to this day, I still have nightmares about it. Like what an asshole I was. I deserved probably to get ambushed and beaten within an inch of my life later that night for doing that. And that's why I realized, Bill, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I went to her house.
Let's throw this one back.
I went to her house.
Yeah. Good.
And
man.
I said, this fish isn't worth it. We're throwing it back.
No, absolutely.
So anyway, there you go.
So what would be your advice to Margie or Danny? Well, first of all, this is a good topic in general, all kidding aside, be respectful, be polite. They pulled you over for a reason. Hopefully they're not looking for expectations and they just want to, I don't know.
Well, if it's a traffic cop or a highway patrolman, that's their job.
Yeah.
That is their job. That's what they get paid to do. Just like butchers get paid to slice bologna or cut meat. That is their job. So the guys doing this man or lady, they're doing their job. It was a little different when you're a regular, pushing a beat and going out and working we used to call them, pushing a sled in a typical beat. It was a little different.
I'm curious what Margie got pulled over for. It was probably, what do you think, Bill? Margie, you speeding, you roll a stop sign. What'd you do?
I'm going to say she probably had a brake light out.
Oh, okay.
Or something. I don't know. Margie's kind of a, she's not one to break the law, so I don't know. Margie, if you're listening, well, she's not listening right now because we're taping. But when you get this, when you see this, Margie, let us know what the stop was for.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll arbitrate it right here on live YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
play
get to the bottom of this. Yeah. Traffic court. We do it all here at the podcast. Okay. This one I kind of like, from our good man, Kevin Scarpio up in the high desert, the athletic trainer up there at the high school at Adelanto. He said, what are the best heckles you have heard as an umpire from either a coach, player, or fan that made you have to acknowledge the comment? And Bill, was there any good cop jokes you heard on the line of duty? These are some good questions, Kevin. Thank you so much.
All right. As far as cop jokes, yeah.
Oh, we forgot to say on this, today's episode contains explicit content that may not be suitable.
Now, again, this is a joke. I in no way condone.
I have not heard this. Oh no.
I in no way condone what we're going to delve into here.
Oh boy.
But it's a joke, people, a joke. And guess what? I know someone's going to find it offensive. I know someone's going to bitch and complain, but again, it's a joke And again, I'm saying I don't agree with it. I think it's egregious, but it's,
No, wait.
but it's pretty funny.
Is this a cop joke? This is my Kevin's. Is the question cop jokes or jokes told by cops?
It's told by cops.
Oh, I don't know where. I don't like.
And it has something to do with law enforcement and victimization of a certain person.
Okay.
Okay.
We can edit.
All right. Okay. And again, it's a joke, people.
Oh boy.
All right.
I'm terrified.
What do you say to a woman with 2 black eyes?
Oh.
Nothing. You've already told her twice. Chi-ching.
Bill.
Okay.
Bill, that's not funny. That is not funny.
What does a woman do? What's
Bill!
the first thing a woman does when she gets home from the domestic violence shelter? The dishes, if she's smart.
Oh.
Okay. Again, folks, completely deplorable. I'm going to hell for even repeating that. I'm not making light of it. It's just there's some sick fucks out there that say stuff like that.
You just alienated our 3 female listeners.
No. If they know me, they know that
Bill,
that is not. I'm just reporting. Okay.
you
I'm
didn't
just
make the
reporting.
joke up.
I didn't make it up.
Just I
didn't make
relaying.
it up. I'm just relaying sick, twisted humor, folks. Sick, twisted humor. Okay. And as far as being on the field, okay, and we'll go.
Yeah, let's transition to that. Yeah.
Let's change the
Oh
path here very, very soon. As far as on the field, from a up in when I was working in a pinup ball, I was in Edmonton one night, and Calgary, Edmonton, they had a big rivalry, and I'm working second base, and the Calgary pitcher in the bottom of the first inning is just getting lit up. He is just getting torched. And this Edmonton kid hits a 1-hopper, and it's on AstroTurf, and it's the hard surface. The ball gets at you quick. The ball damn near hits me. Okay. I jump out of the way. The second baseman tries to field it. He fucks it up, and 2 more runs score. The pitcher starts blaming me for that, right?
Get out of the way.
Yeah, he goes, man, where's your athleticism? I go, throw strikes, get somebody out, and then pop off.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going at it pretty good. And finally, then the manager comes out and gets him, and he's coming off the mound, and I'm out in like short center field now, trying to get away from him. And he's just launching, right? So finally I run him. I said, get the fuck out of here. And I launch him. And then, Boots Day. And for those of you that follow baseball, Boots Day, Google him. Legendary old original Montreal Expo from 1969. Played a little bit with the Cubs. He was in his early 60s at the time. He looked like he was a walking dead man. He looked like he was 90.
He's a veteran baseball coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Boots starts screaming at me, go tuck your ears in your ass. And I thought, tuck my ears in my ass. That's a good one. And I chuckled a little bit. So that was pretty good. And then as luck would have it, we went out after the game, and guess who's in the bar? It's Boots and the pitching coach, Mike Snyder, both great guys. Okay. And so we did our best to avoid them, and of course, Boots comes over and gives me a drink. He goes, that was a pretty good one, wasn't it? I go, hey man, yeah, really good. He goes, yeah, and fuck the guy that you launched. He's an asshole anyway. And so from then on, I go, hey, sit down. Let's have it. We'll drink to that. Yeah. And so anyway, that's a pretty good one. I think I might've told this one before, but I was in San Luis Obispo on a warm Sunday afternoon. This was 2014. I was still married then to my second wife, and she accompanied me on this road trip. She was in the stands behind first base, which is where San Luis dugout was. Warm, unseasonably warm San Luis Obispo day. Beautiful out, 85 degrees, nice little breeze. It was gorgeous. That meant when the sun's out, the clothes are off. And there was the front row behind the San Luis dugout had nothing but crisp, young co-eds behind there.
Little beach club.
Yes. And the entire series had not really gone San Luis' way, and there was a lot of close calls, and I was unfortunately involved in a lot of them. Got them right.
Who will we ever know?
Really close call at first base. Really close call at first base. And I called the San Luis kid out. He was probably out by 1/32nd of a step. Okay. And the San Luis dugout erupts. Larry Lee, the coach, nicest man in the world.
Nicest man.
Nice man. Would not say shit if he had a mouthful. He came out on the play. He goes, Bill, my God, we haven't had a break all for 3 days. I said, Larry, I go, it's instinct, man. He was out. I go, we'll look at it on tape later. And if you're right, I'll buy you, I'll get all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches you can eat. Okay. Because I knew he wasn't a drinker. So, we usually just bribed him with booze. So he goes back to the dugout, and just as he's walking back, it's quieted down. And these 3 scantily clad co-eds stand up, and they in unison scream, hey, Blue, does your wife know you've been fucking us all weekend? And the first base coach started laughing. I start laughing. The first baseman is dying. And I look up, and guess who's sitting 3 rows behind him?
The wife they speak of.
Yeah. And I kind of under my breath, I go, I don't know. Ask her. She's 3 rows behind you. And I thought that was probably the all-time best.
That's a tough one to beat.
Oh, boy. And I chuckled. The first base coach, I thought he was going to, urinate himself. And even the first baseman, I go, did they do that? He goes, oh yeah. I mean, he goes, that's their go-to phrase. Their go-to. I said, okay, so I'm not the first one that's gotten that. He goes, oh no. Anyway,
it's tough. I can speak for most of when something funny happens on the field or you hear something, there's nothing harder than trying to not laugh or crack a smile when something is really hilarious like that. I mean, you bite your lip, you do everything you can to just be
because you hear it.
Oh yeah.
You hear it. People say that no bullshit. You hear it
out.
You just can't react to it.
Yeah. You just usually mutter things under your own breath. But I would say nothing for me as far as being on the field. There was nothing quite as glamorous as that. Unfortunately, I'm a short, rather heavy set guy, Bill, and especially.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
I thought I was sitting next to Joe Weider here. Good Lord. I thought you just came off Venice Muscle Beach.
That's right.
Boy, I need to educate myself, don't I?
Not a great specimen that I am. So, and then I'm not very tall. So you know what? I got a lot at this one stadium. And when you had a 3-game series, you were just like, oh, okay, I'm going to get this for 3 straight days. I got the Oompa Loompa treatment quite a bit.
I can see that.
From the, hey, Oompa Loompa, Oompa Loompa, I think was what they were yelling at me. And I was just like, oh boy. So that one, I also got called, no, Oompa Loompa, that was a big one. And I was in Iowa, Clinton, Iowa. Don't go there.
Any part of Iowa. Iowa sucks.
Oh
folks.
my God.
Iowa is the absolute bloody hemorrhoid of the United States. Okay.
Bill, Field of Dreams is there. Come on, man. Oh, so I was there, and some guy, he was, it was like 50-cent beer night, and he's just hammering me, and there was a call, and anyway, he yelled at me every couple pitches. And like he was getting funnier and funnier. And then he finally yelled at me, oh, don't worry, Blue, you'll need a new job. You'll get a new job soon. And then he said, but don't worry, you'll still get Obamacare or something like that along those lines. and that was all going on at the time. So he yelled that. But Oompa Loompa was a big one.
I could see that.
Oh, Bobby Hill.
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby Hill, what are you?
I have not heard that. You are a spitting image, my friend. Holy shit.
Bobby Hill, go back to the king of
that is hilarious.
King of the Hill.
That is funny.
I'm going, oh man. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know who it is, look it up. Bobby Hill. I go, man, I'm just a target. And I signed up to do this. People are yelling at me. There was Buddy Lee. That was kind of from some friends. But anyway, they're not nice. They're not. You never get anything shouted at you nice,
No,
typically.
Oh no.
But and as far as coaches, I mean, you did a coaches one and a heckler one. That's pretty good. So yeah, I guess we'll move on from there.
One more baseball thing.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go.
Our good friend George Horton.
Really?
George took a spill.
Oh,
took a spill. I guess he was watching a USC game, fell in the stands. He broke 6 ribs and displaced a couple. I texted with him the other day. I saw it. His daughter released that news. So I texted with him, and God bless. George is obviously took some meds and he's feeling better. He was on some feel good medicine, and he he has, and we wish the best to him. He's recuperating at home. So George, shout out, get better. One of these days we're gonna when the ribs heal, we'll get you on the show, and I want you to laugh and not have it be painful when you do, because I have broken a rib. He asked me, he goes, Bill, have you ever broken a rib? I said, oh yeah. And it ain't fun. Oof, yeah. I did it. I wish I was as glamorous, I say it was a baseball injury. I did it in Wichita, Kansas. I fell off a bar stool. I think the waitress was trying to slip me a Mickey, and I fell off the bar stool, broke a rib. And this is early in the American Association season. And I had to withstand that pain for about 2 months.
A drinking injury.
Yes. And then about a month into it, catcher gets crossed up and I take one right to that spot. I swear to God to you, I invented new swear words. Just when I thought I was starting to breathe easier, I get a 95 mile an hour fastball right where the break was. And let me tell you something. If someone, there was no trainer, nothing, because I would have probably just punched them if they came out. I was so pissed off. They knew better. They left me alone. Nobody said shit the rest of the game. And that was not fun. So a broken rib, there's nothing you can do for it.
You said he was watching USC game?
All I know is he was at a USC game, fell in the stand. I don't know how it happened, but he fell. And I guess those seats are hard, and George is recovering, and he is missing his grandson's, he's not being able to coach third base at his grandson's T-ball games.
You got to tape it up, George. Tape it up. Let's go.
I'm thinking, George, you gotta play hurt, man.
Let's go.
Get out there.
Who's going to wave those kids home? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Get them home safe. Get them home safe, George.
Yeah. So anyway, shout out to George. Get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see. We talked about Margie. We got some other baseball topics, but let's step aside from questions in baseball for a second, and let's talk about some breaking news that occurred this week, Bill, with the governor of California, hopefully former governor of California, the dictator that he is, Gavin Newsom. Guess what? They've reached enough signatures to officially recall him, Bill, when we've been told for months that it was a conspiracy and it would never happen.
Well, first of all, he's getting exactly what he deserves. Second of all, it is not this Republican Trump-backed conspiracy that he's trying to convince people. Okay, people aren't that stupid. Okay, it's Democrats, Republicans, Independents. People in California are fed up with his dictatorial, hypocritical way of governing. He is he's patronizing. He talks to you like you're a 3-year-old. He's not a good leader, terrible leader. It's shown, and the people of California have risen. And you know what? Whether he likes it or not, it happened. And regardless if he's ousted, he still has to go through this thing. He's got to go out in politics. He's got to get off his sweet little, fairy ass and, comb his hair and go out and try to buy back the governorship. And the problem I see is that I don't see any really, really wow. There's no wow factor in someone running against him. Caitlyn Jenner doesn't have the tools, excuse the pun, to do this. Or maybe she does have the tools still. I don't know. Don't care to know. And, John Cox, he's a Republican. Kevin Faulkner, I think he's a Republican in name only in San Diego. He let that town go to shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure what is his competition, to be quite honest with you, but it's going to make him go through the drill of having to campaign and make promises that, again, he won't keep. And the only reason, in my opinion, that things are better for him is because he's finally realized that his way of doing things was completely ass backwards. His handlers, obviously, who are a little more common sense loaded, have talked to him, and he's finally listening.
But do you really think he's learned anything? Or I mean, I don't think he's realized anything. It's just
No.
Oh, I'm being recalled.
You can't teach an old, shitty dog new tricks. Okay. And in his case, that's what it is. So he's just playing the game. He's playing.
This is not some vast right-wing conspiracy.
No,
has,
no, there are so many small business, mom and pop,
we don't have
Democratic.
We don't have those anymore in California.
Well, because he closed them all down.
I know.
Okay. There are people that once supported him. And now that he completely defecated all over them and their business and their life, they're not taking give ups on this guy now. He's done with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, do your homework, look at the facts and move forward.
There'll be some, various people in the running here. And I think if we have, California, we have something to compare it to, which was the 2004, like 2003, whatever that was, with Gray Davis. A lot of people threw their hat in the ring, and that ultimately came down to only a couple of people, with Schwarzenegger obviously taking the reins. But it's going to be interesting who people throw their support behind. More than likely, probably another Democrat. Honestly, it's California.
I unfortunately, I think that Gavin will probably will survive this, but then someone needs to gear up, and I mean gear up fast, and unseat him in the regular election in next year, in 2022, because this state cannot afford 4 more years of not only him but his idiotic appointees. Remember, folks, he was the one that appointed George Gascon to the district attorney in San Francisco. That slimy son of a bitch has never won an election in his life. Okay. Except for the LA one, which, Jackie Lacey lost. Okay. And it's guys like him that he's appointing. He appointed a worthless, very, very, very liberal, law and order guy to attorney general, or was it attorney general? Yes. And now the Sacramento DA, her name escapes me right now, she's going to run against him, and hopefully she gets it, because she's pretty much law and order and doesn't take any crap.
Well,
so again, it's not only him, but it's the people that he appoints.
Well, it's the destruction.
His agenda is dog shit.
There's nothing he stands for. All this preaching of safety, all this preaching of I have your best interests at heart. Listen to me. I will take care of you. People want to take care of themselves. People want to live their lives, make their own money, form their own path, not be told how to live, how to be afraid. He has scared more people in this state the past year than I think realize it. And a lot of people have said, you know what, I'm not being afraid anymore. Gavin Newsom has run California into the ground. And if you don't believe that, you think otherwise, look around at other states around the country. California, New York, Michigan have been so poorly run. You can criticize Texas, Florida, all you want, Mississippi, but you know what? They're doing just fine. They're open, and they've done the exact opposite of those other 3 empires of Michigan, New York, and California. So Gavin Newsom, I'm glad to see this officially happen, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You hit it right on the nose as far as good governorship, good leadership versus piss poor. And this state has been piss poor.
Crazy.
All he cares, all we are to Gavin Newsom are ballot numbers. That's all we are. We are nothing but like when I was, working for, at the job, people would tell me, "Hey, Bill, you're crazy. You think the chief of police cares about you? All you are is an employee number."
Mm-hmm.
You're right. No,
that's true.
There's no difference between me and a records clerk.
No.
We're all just employees to him.
And on a lesser note, like you and I both umpired, like there were guys that believed that certain people in baseball, whether it be coaches or administrators or signers or other umpires, we're just bases. We're not, umpire. People think, oh, they care about us. No one cares about you.
No,
you're a base. You're a piece of equipment out there.
That's all we are. That's all we are. They don't care.
So
They
that's
don't
just a
care.
comparison. But
They
yeah.
don't care.
So Gavin Newsom, the recall is on, and so this is here we are in April. So when it will the
I
recall
believe any
start?
time between August and October,
Okay,
they can do the special election.
and then if nothing else, it will be 1 year from there in
Yes,
November of
yes,
22 that he
yes.
is up for re-election.
Yes, yes, yes.
De-election if we can.
Yes.
Yeah, because people who run businesses, I've been out and about a little bit more now, Bill, and it's funny that some people here in California have said screw it. You know, they're just like, we're going to be open. Sorry. Or, you know, masks, wear it if you want, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to post the signs everywhere to protect themselves. Even drive-thrus, you post signs. So wear a mask when you hand someone money. I'm like, what?
Well, today there's supposed to be a new guideline from the CDC on mask wearing outside, and I'm really hopefully this will break while we're doing this, and we can kind of touch on what the new guidelines are. I think it's absolutely asinine to wear a mask outside. I don't give a shit if you've been vaccinated or not vaccinated. Wearing a mask outside, unless you're French kissing somebody outside, you're not going to pass the virus. Okay. So if let's cut the craziness and shed these fucking masks outside.
Yeah.
I think it's complete crap. You shouldn't have to wear them at a baseball game outside either.
Well, you don't
in the stands.
You don't in Dallas.
No.
Yeah. Arlington. I mean,
no, and they're keeling over dead daily down there, aren't they?
There's literally body bags outside the stadium.
We're not making light of people dying on this, but you know what? It doesn't happen when you're outside at a sporting event or outside in an eatery or outside at a concert or outside walking or outside, brushing your dog or whatever the hell you're doing. It doesn't happen outside, especially during the daylight when you have a breeze and there's sunshine. It doesn't happen. I'm not a doctor, but occasionally I stay at a Holiday Inn Express. Okay. It doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. And so here's some of the CDC guidelines that were released. Every time I see new guidelines,
breaking news. We got breaking. All right, let's hear it.
This broke today.
This is.
Let's see. In a White House COVID briefing Tuesday, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, said science shows. I love that phrase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
amazing.
Science shows there are, quote, many situations where fully vaccinated people do not need to wear a mask, particularly if they are outdoors. That is brand new information.
Didn't Dr. Barnes just say that a second ago? Didn't Dr. Barnes just
Let me get this straight.
Pontificate that?
Outside,
yes.
Fully vaccinated, you probably don't need to wear it. Well, why would you? I'm trying to think of a comparison to that, Bill. Hey, I'm not even going to try. That is unbelievable. Those who are fully vaccinated or 14 days post second dose or 2 weeks past the Johnson dose can attend a small outdoor gathering with people who are vaccinated or unvaccinated, or dine with friends from multiple households without a mask. What? Who writes this stuff down? And people actually follow this? You have to wait, what household are you in? What are you serious? CDC guidelines. Wow. We got to come up with, here's what I want everyone to do. Listeners out there, I want you to.
Who's in charge of the CDC? Is it Captain Obvious?
I don't know if that high of a rank, maybe lieutenant or I don't know, sergeant.
Well, you know what? Sooner better than never.
I want people to
later than never, I guess. Whatever the hell.
Here's a fun game. I want people to, for the podcast, send in your best acronyms for CDC, what you think the CDC stands for. Let's have some fun with this. Email us at the show.
Completely delusional collection. How's that?
That's not bad for a start.
Right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Can't do now. Well, anyway, you understand what we say. Come on, listeners. This is your time to be
all five of you, please.
All five. Get us next week. I want us to be talking about some of these fun guidelines. So as far as guidelines from the CDC, more nothing really of obvious stuff that some people. Can you imagine, Bill? There's some people that sit on pins and needles, watching the news, okay, let me write these down. What are the guidelines? Okay, I need to do this. Okay, now I need to do that. Like, there's people that live that way. That's not living.
No, it's not. And you know what? God bless them.
I guess
There's
so.
nothing we can do for them.
No.
They're already tainted. Nothing we can do. We can work with you, or we can work around.
They
you.
are infected. No pun. Anyway, Bill, let's bounce around. Okay. Last week we discussed, I thought we had a pretty good show. We talked about the verdict in the Chauvin case.
Mhm.
Then we talked about 2 different shootings.
Mhm.
One, the accident by the officer. What was her name? Excuse me. It's slipping. Kim Potter.
Mhm.
That mistake shooting there outside of Minneapolis. And then it was kind of the same day as the verdict. There was a shooting in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. We talked about that shooting last week.
Absolutely 100% justified.
Yes. And
in my
how,
opinion.
and then we've seen backlash, of course, because people are lunatics. But, you know, I have heard so many different, well, she was 16. How could you shoot her? She was about to stab someone else. That's how you shoot her. And I said it on Monday. If someone I know is going to get stabbed by someone, I hope the police act. Don't fire a warning shot.
No.
I hope they handle business. It's unfortunate, but you know what? You act a certain way, there's consequences. So, you know who had strong opinions about this, shockingly, was none other than Mr. LeBron James. I know you've read his tweets, Bill. You've seen how irresponsible he's been. I want you to now comment on what you feel after hearing from the wisdom that was LeBron James last week regarding the shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant.
Okay, first of all, a very, very, very ignorant statement. It shows his ignorance to life in general. It shows how fucking uneducated he is. Okay. It shows how he has been coddled as a professional athlete since he was probably in high school. Okay. He's never probably done a dish in his life. He's never probably cleaned up after himself in his life. He has people that do everything for him. He doesn't carry his own bags on a trip. He doesn't probably open his own doors. He probably, if someone is there to feed him, there's probably someone there to spoon feed him. Okay. People do everything for him. And he has never probably been in a situation where it's been life and death and all that. Yeah, he grew up on the streets of Akron, Ohio, and all that.
Oh, come on, Bill. He's had the ball late in the 4th quarter, down by a point. That's life or death, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that certainly is. Boy, I'll tell you. So he didn't wait for the facts. He shot his mouth off before even OJ, our good friend, Mr. Simpson, in Las Vegas, Nevada.
What about good friend? But yeah.
On the golf course, weighed in and said he was out of line. And if there's one guy that knows the danger,
it's a knife expert
of stabbing somebody to death, not only one person but 2 people, it's the juice. Okay,
the juice is loose.
And so again, OJ was one to say, hey, wait till the facts are in. You know, in this particular situation, he said the cop did what he had to do, and he said that he's against defunding the police.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? I mean, the best cops money could buy in LA, he beat them.
He had beers and sodas for him every weekend before he committed that murder.
Absolutely,
and,
man. You know, so
OJ ahead of his time.
Wait, hey, Juice. Like I said on my post a week or so ago, keep hitting it straight off the tee and watch the slice.
Oh, joking about a double homicide only at the Get Home Safe podcast. Wow, Bill.
No, hey, he didn't do his. Hey, it was proven that he.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. My bad.
Criminally, he
innocent.
He was not guilty, not innocent, not guilty.
That's better.
Criminally.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll tell you, man, I've seen him on the streets of West LA in the last 25 years, 27 years, however long it's been. I've seen him on the streets of LA, West LA, still hunting for that killer.
I have too.
He's got a posse out there nightly.
He's got
canvassing the area.
One glove on, carrying as always.
So, OJ, you're still a bad man. You got away with double murder. You know, I don't know whether to congratulate you or completely,
it's pretty sickening, man.
Yeah, so
it's pretty sickening.
Anyway, with the help of Gil Garcetti, Eric's dad, with the help of Mayor or Judge Ito, and Johnny Cochran, God rest his soul, ran the courtroom in that whole trial.
Mhm.
It was Johnny's court. It was Johnny's
I
court.
I could spend so many different episodes talking about that case.
Anyway, that's a whole different set of dog shit. That's a whole different whole.
I wish when Bill and I know this is going off the path here, but we got time. I was when I was living at Bill's back in the year of our Lord 2016. I was only there for 6 months or so, but it was either then or right after that is when that OJ Simpson FX thing came on.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish we were doing the podcast and we could have broken down the episodes and be like, that's BS. No, this was, that would have been a lot of fun. But anyway,
you had a sympathetic jury. One big mistake happened, which caused the whole thing. And that's why I think that Garcetti was on the take and took a bribe. I really do, because no other way could you think any more illogical than to take the trial from his true peers in Santa Monica, West LA, Santa Monica, to downtown LA.
Well, I think
cases are won and lost. I don't care how clear cut they are with juries.
Of course.
He got a jury. He got a former Black Panther on the jury.
Well, he didn't want any excuses. Keep in mind, Rodney King stuff had recently happened. And
again, a jury in all white Simi Valley. If that case hadn't been moved, those cops would have been guilty. They moved
the trial.
They moved it to Simi Valley, all white, ham and egg, go to work at 9, come home at 5.
A community
of
cops, basically.
Yes,
right?
A cop-loving community that we're going to acquit those guys. And they did. It's all about the jury.
Location, as they say, right?
Exactly.
Okay, back to LeBron James. Bill, LeBron James has 50 million Twitter followers, and I hope he's lost some with his recent comments, but people worship this guy, King James, as they call him. I don't even think he's a prince, but that's just me. He always wants to comment on these things. And there was a LAPD officer, a guy 24 years on the force, Dion Joseph, who wrote a letter to LeBron requesting a meeting following LeBron's attack on the cop. Because first of all, LeBron said he's tired of people getting killed by police, but he also put in there, he posted the cop's photo, and this is the day of the verdict, right, with Chauvin, and he says, "You're next." Now, some would say that's a threat. I think what he meant is you're next to be found guilty of wrongdoing. But still, if something happens to that cop, couldn't LeBron theoretically be charged with, I don't know, a plot?
It's a stretch, but it sure didn't help the guy.
No.
And it was completely irrational of LeBron to say something so off the hip and so unfactual. Okay. Now, again, the guy, he needs handlers for his Twitter responses. He needs someone with a level head to control him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's completely off. It's an unhinged thing to do. And a lot of things he does are unhinged. And he thinks because he comes to LA that he gets a pass. Well, no, you don't.
No,
you don't.
He's ruined the NBA. He's ruined it.
I don't watch the NBA. I don't watch that. I hope the Lakers never win another game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is ruined.
It's because of him.
He's ruined. Exactly. I felt that way when he came to LA.
I didn't like him when he was with the Cleveland or Miami or any of those. I just don't like him. I never did. And I despise him even more now.
Yeah, he's ruined the NBA for fans and for Laker fans here in Los Angeles. I know a few.
Complete narcissist. It's all about him.
Did you get a chance to hear or read the letter that was?
I just saw that today, and knowing what I know about Dion Joseph, he's a well-decorated, highly respected cop who works the Skid Row area. He's a senior lead officer, which means you do a lot with the community. So he's well-versed on lots of things, completely objective. And I think it was probably a very well-written letter. And I hope LeBron, meets them halfway, and I hope they meet. And I hope Officer Joseph can educate him a little bit.
What do you think if I read you the letter right now, Bill? What do you think?
I would probably be bored with it.
You think you would?
Yeah. Let folks
read
the letter. I'll read it later. I'm sure.
Dion Joseph.
Yeah, Dion Joseph.
Just Google
Google him. It's probably very good.
Very well written. I mean,
Okay,
very.
good.
I there's nothing in there. I would be like, oh wow, yeah. You got to see that. And he requests a meeting with LeBron to have a conversation, right? With all this talk all the time about we need to come together. How come that never happens? To me, that's like magical comfort food. Oh, come together, come together. You don't want to come together.
No, you don't. You just want to sit back up on your soapbox and blast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, and you know what? There's going to be another situation, life and death situation here. It's just part of life with life for cops out there, and there'll be another tweet sent out. There'll be another protest. It's just life continues to go on and on and on. But anyway, yeah, shame on you, LeBron James. Absolutely unbelievable. Did you see this bill? You want to talk about bad governors? Megan Whitmer up in Michigan. She's now mandating that 2 to 4 year olds have to wear masks in their state. 2 years. How old's your granddaughter?
She'll be 4 in August.
Okay. Has she had to wear a mask or had to wear one out here? And
because other people are doing it, she wants to do it. She wants to fit in. So she wears one.
Okay. Do you think it would be difficult it's difficult to have 2-year-olds eat their food, let alone put a mask on sometimes, right? So
a complete lost cause.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Good question. I can't speak from. She's a nut. she's a nut.
No, but keep making great policies. I mentioned this in our Facebook video, Bill, but I was so disappointed Monday morning. I realized that I had forgotten to watch the Oscars on Sunday night.
God, me too. Yeah, wow.
I was like, oh my goodness, I got to wait a whole year again to not watch it.
Wow, right from the train station in LA. Great place. Great place. I'll say this. Hollywood, the actors, the people that are part of it, they're hypocrites. There was probably, I'm going to say on the low end, and I don't know, 800 to 1,000 security / LAPD that worked that event in some fashion, whether it be at the beginning, the end, during. And I guarantee you, those stars, they call them stars. And you know what stars spelled backwards are?
Rats.
Okay. They are guarded and escorted with an armed, whether it's a cop that's currently a cop or a retired cop. They're armed. They've been in law enforcement. They count on these people to protect them. And guess what? Then they get up there like Regina King. She gets up there and blasts them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Regina, I used to like you. I don't like you anymore. I don't respect you. You brought so much negativity to the Oscars. You opened the show up by kicking a dead horse. I hate to use that as a pun, using the Chauvin thing. Okay, he got what he deserved. You didn't need to bring that up, Regina. I liked you. You're a great actress. I loved you in Boys in the Hood. I loved you in a show called Southland, where you played a LAPD homicide detective, and you played it very, very well. A very good character, and I had a lot of respect for you. I thought you got the big picture. You obviously don't. You've regressed into your self-absorbed, non-factual, ideological, stigma that cops are bad. Okay. I know which side of you obviously know which side of the bread the butter's on, and you have to go that way. But again, on the other hand, you had Tyler Perry, who made a statement, and it was outstanding.
And he's no voice of conservatism or anything. He's liberal guy, but common sense comment, right?
He gets it. If you want to elaborate, if you want to read up on what they said, we're not going to bore you with it. You folks are not. Our listeners are very, very smart people. You can look them up. You can see what they read, and then comment whether you agree with us or don't. I don't care. Life is about disagreeing and being able to come to terms with your disagreements rather than launching bombs at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of friends who are Democrats. I have a lot of friends Republican. I have a lot of friends Democrat. We agree to disagree, and we can still hug and embrace and have a cold cocktail together and still be friends. Mm-hmm. That's what life's all about. Now, if I could have that kind of luck with wives, that's a whole nother point. That's a whole nother show. But again, Again,
yeah, no,
that's my bad.
No, yeah. Tyler Perry's comments, I won't read into them all, but he basically, his comments in summary was that he refuses to hate someone because they are, and he gave a list of people and groups and races. And one of the things he threw in there was, I refuse to hate someone because they are a police officer. And I thought that was really powerful. There's all this preaching all the time about not judging groups of people or jobs or races or whatever. And, you got to throw in police in there.
There's a 4-letter word in the alphabet that starts with an F, and it's called fair.
Fair.
You thought I was going somewhere else.
I was worried.
Okay. It's called fair. And you know what? That's a fair statement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what life's all about, being fair.
No
Sometimes you're going to win. Sometimes you're going to lose. Sometimes things aren't going to go your way. But if the person that is behind those decisions is fair, I can live with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I am with, like, I want to hear things. When I hear somebody I disagree with, I want to hear something that I can like semi-relate to, or kind of, all right, I hear where you're coming from. If I hear something that is said to me that is just completely, out of left field and destructive, and something like, as an example, we're going to mandate how many hamburgers you eat in a year. It's like, what? What? There's not bigger issues out there than hamburgers, stuff like that. That's where I like lose it. Well, hey, we need to, let's have a fair conversation. And where Bill and I stand on most things on this show. We're not always, we're a little extreme at times, but hey, it's our show. We can do what we want. So yeah, I like that, Bill. Fair. That's a very, very good way of putting it. Okay, let's get back to some sports, if we will.
Let's have a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Remember sports where you're supposed to escape politics and all this and that.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Dodgers in just a second, Bill. But I know you're not a big UFC fan.
I'll tell you what. I saw the clip of that poor bastard that broke his leg the other night.
Oh,
and that made me quiver. That was bad.
Chris Weidman.
Holy smokes!
Folded
man.
his shin in half.
God, you got the bones of a 90-year-old man.
Oh.
Holy smokes, man! Go.
That was ugly. The little kick with the shin breaks.
That made Joe Theismann's broken leg back in the day look like a sprained ankle.
Didn't it?
Holy.
And he goes to plan on it, and it's all flimsy. I thought it was gonna pop out through the bottom of his ankle.
I've seen firmer Jello.
Oh, I don't know why I'm going to ask this, and maybe you're not ready for it, but since you mentioned it,
mm-hmm.
if you care to pass, it's fine. If you want to abstain, what is,
me, I don't pass on anything.
I know, that's why I'm asking it. What is like the worst injury / whatever on a scene of a crime you rolled up?
God, train wrecks
that you can. Oh, okay.
Trains versus peds.
Oh, just.
You get slices that a butcher would be envious of. Okay.
And just body parts everywhere.
You get a clean cut.
Oh,
okay. And very little blood. Because you would have a torso here, and you'd have the leg about 100 yards away. I've never seen a plane crash before. Victims of a plane crash.
Yeah.
But I have seen victims of a train versus pedestrian and trains, there's no give to those things.
It's usually suicide, right?
Usually, yes. Although unfortunately in the city of Riverside, we have what's called California School of the Deaf.
Oh, CSDR, yeah.
Yes. And train tracks, whoever put the school there in their infinite wisdom, put them near some train tracks.
Oh.
And sometimes, unfortunately, and very, very sad, you would have some students that would walk on the train tracks, and they can't hear the train, but usually they could feel the vibration of the tracks below them. Well, sometimes they didn't know how close they were until, it was too late. And yes, some of those, and those are just gut-wrenchingly horrible. And a lot of times there were suicides.
Yeah.
And regardless, a death is a death. A dismemberment is a dismemberment. There's nothing pretty about it, and they are by far the worst.
Oof, that is ugly stuff.
Now, I did have one where a lady jumped off the roof of the was then the Holiday Inn. It's now, I think, a Marriott down by the Mission Inn, 7, 8 stories. When she hit the deck, she was instantly dead, obviously. And I was working, my partner and I were working homicide then. Any type of unattended dead body, you had to roll out. Well, we got there and you had some patrolmen there that were obviously very, very inexperienced and young. And the woman was there. She had a hole in her head and the brain was about 12 feet away. Well, what they did is they wanted to make sure she was dead. So instead of taking what the visual evidence was in front of them, they called an ambulance to run a strip on her. Why? I don't know. So we get there and we're going, why is there a strip on her? Well, what was the deal here? Oh, well, we wanted to make sure. So we called for paramedics. And I looked at the kid and I said, okay. I said, this is your brain. And then I walked him over to where the head was. I said, and this is your brain without a brain. I go, the last time I checked, it is entirely impossible to function as a human being without a brain. Okay. Unless, of course, you're a first responder cop on the scene and you call for a paramedic to run a strip on someone who's obviously dead. Wow. You know what kind of extra work that's going to cause us now? Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry. I go, relax.
He probably went to college. That's where
he was probably
educated.
Yeah. So anyway, those are ugly. Any type of hard trauma from a high distance can be ugly. So anyway, those come ugly. Yes.
Oof, man. Yes. Yeah. Gruesome injuries. I've seen a few on a football field, not so many on like a baseball field, but that happens too. But football, I've seen broken legs right in front of me where it just went, oh, that's bad. We're hey, go to the sidelines. But yeah, that kick in UFC 261 was pretty ugly.
Oof.
But anyway,
he didn't have 2 legs to stand on.
There, the Bill Barnes. But I got to tell you, Bill, you don't have to love watching UFC, but I think guys like you would appreciate the leadership of it. Dana White, I think, is the best leader in sports.
I'd like to see Dana White run for public office.
I do too. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's what we need. We need a guy with a shaved bald head.
Yeah.
Okay. If he grows a goatee, even better. We need people like that to stand up and say, this is the way it's going to fucking be, folks. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. That's how we're going to do it. And that's the way he does it.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like a firm, strong leader that, you know what? I'm not talking bullshit here. This is the way we're going to do it.
I like it. Oh, absolutely. You take Gavin Newsom's
Dana White. Are you a California resident? I am calling for you to run for governor.
Oh, he's in Las Vegas, but maybe we can get him over
right.
this side.
Get him dual citizenship.
Yeah, he likes freedom, so he's not in the state. But the guy just knows how to run not just a business, but a sports league. You talk about Rob Manfred versus Dana White. There's no comparison.
Jesus,
Dana White is the man, and he was the first sport to come back last April in an empty arena. This last weekend in the
that's like comparing Elvis to Tiny Tim.
Tim.
Okay.
The very same arena they brought sports back last year. They brought back the first full capacity indoor event. They're down in Jacksonville, 15,000 people. Dana says, hey, you want to wear masks? Go ahead. It's not required. Vaccinations are not required. We're going to be back. Governor Ron DeSantis helped kick off the event the night before. You know what they referred to Florida as, Bill? The oasis of freedom. I really like that.
I'm looking into buying swampland there and moving. Okay. I'll give me a chunk of land and I'm there.
I could see you being a swamp guy.
Absolutely.
Rocking chair out there.
I'm going to go out and fight alligators, and go out and mix with the crocodiles. Absolutely. That's me, man. You kidding me?
It's fantastic.
Give me some mountain woman who doesn't shave her armpits and just wants to, show all 4 of her teeth. Absolutely. Bring it on.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Well, the media was really trying to stir up Dana White and Ron DeSantis with their irresponsibility of having, an event that wants to kill people. And I love them both. They don't take any crap from the media. No. Dana White just hammers the media when they're like, no, you guys are all untruthful. And he just gives it right back to him. He hammered his local newspaper. I think it's great stuff.
I want to see DeSantis take a run at presidency.
I think he will. I can't think of anyone as far as the Republican side of things. I can't think of anybody else really who would
Trump,
be a front runner. People say Trump, but DeSantis has risen through the ranks. And
DeSantis is a human, have the human touch.
Yeah.
Where Donald is just a rich fucking guy and it's his way or the highway, and there's no bend, there's no give. If there was, he'd have been reelected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He rules with an iron fist. He has no people skills whatsoever. DeSantis is the legit deal in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Dana White was on the Candace Owens show, and she had a great conversation they had. Dana White used to be this doorman in a hotel in Boston, and he hit a moment in his life where he was like, what am I doing? I can't keep doing this. And then he got passionate and went the direction he's gone. But he quote said this, and I think this is so well said. We've heard it from other people too, but Dana White said, quote, when you watch sports, you're tuning in to get away from all the crap that's going on in your life, whether it's your personal, professional, political, whatever's going on in the world. That's your time when you tune in. Never once did we talk about COVID. We didn't talk politics. We didn't talk about anything negative that was going on. When you come in and you watch 2 or 3 hours of our fights, you're tuning in for fights. You're coming in to watch a sport. You want to hear all that crap? Watch any other channel. God bless you, Dana White. So well said.
Well said.
Indeed. You need to be the commissioner of baseball, the commissioner of other sports, and hopefully the governor of California. Clear your schedule, Dana. We need you. So, I'm a big UFC fan. Bill, you can at least support from afar.
I support it. The
bald head.
Yeah.
The bald head rules wild. Okay. Now back to some baseball, which you and I have a little experience with. First of all, the Dodgers on Sunday night blow a 7-1 lead over the Padres. And all I see from Dodger fans is, the Padres are our little brothers. They don't have any championships. Dodger fans, slow down. You better fix your leaky faucet in your house before you start talking about what a great life you have, right?
Well, the leaky faucet is obviously the bullpen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awful.
You've got some guys that are throwing pus right down the cock, and guys like Tatis Jr. are making a mockery of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And Trevor Bauer, hey, great pitcher. He's a little eccentric. He likes to talk. Well, Tatis talked back, didn't he?
Yeah. What a concept. Touche with the old bat. This is a subject I really want to get into. And this is this old school versus new school way of thinking in baseball. There are people who criticize baseball for being this old man sport, the last to evolve. We need bat flips. We need excitement. We need celebration. People want this, there's this demand for change. And I'm like, don't you like baseball for what it is? The way baseball is played, the policing of itself with, over celebrating, this taunting attitude, people want more and more of that. And I can't figure out why that is such a draw. What are your thoughts on this push for this new age of baseball?
I'm against it, obviously, because I am that old man that likes to watch the baseball that's the way it's supposed to be played. There's getting few and few of us left, that are that way. I'll tell you what, my old high school coach would be, if he's still watching Major League Baseball, I'm sure he's just completely irate with the way this is going. People from my generation, we didn't play the game that way. We respected the game. If somebody threw at one of your guys, our pitcher went out and returned the favor, and now we're even.
I know it's done with. Yep.
It's done with. We didn't go out there to hurt anybody, but we went out there to back our own.
People think that is like a barbaric way of playing. And it's like, first of all, you don't know anything about it.
Well, why don't we do this then? Why don't we just let's go rob, loot, and burn shit then. Okay. If that's barbaric.
Law and order. Dave Roberts was asked about Fernando Tatis possibly peeking at signs when he hit the 2 home runs. He kind of puts his head down. It doesn't look like it to me, but Roberts, the tough guy that he is, said something on, yeah, if that's true, it will be noted. And a reporter asked, oh, what? Like, you guys will change up the signs? And he was like, no, that's not what I meant. So, inferring they're going to,
win, lose, or draw, whether Tatis was stealing signs or not, his antics and running the bases will not be forgotten.
No. And so how do you explain this to people, Bill? How do you put it into, because you and I umpired, you and I had to watch every move guys did, and college kids don't know the code, we'll say, as well as professional guys. So how do you explain to people that these theatrics are not a good idea? They lead to problems and fights and then throwing situations. They lead to, how do you explain it to people who just don't seem to get it? Why not flip your bat in the air? You just hit a home run. How do you explain it to people?
Well, it's kind of like, hey, I just closed $1 million deal. Do I pick up the phone and throw it out the window in celebration? Do I pick up my chair and flip it?
Let me flip this microphone. Yeah.
What, I mean, come on.
It's not a celebration.
Act like you've been there before.
Yeah. It's a look at me moment. I say this about
it is absolutely is. It's I want attention. Well, you're getting enough attention, jack off. You're making $15 million a year. How much more attention do you need?
Go in the dugout, celebrate with your team. You want to do something in there, fine. That is what it is. But this whole I need to thump my chest. I need to, and people are like, well, in football, you can do it. You could score a touchdown.
And that's wrong too.
In
my opinion,
people, you see the problems there. Like, why are they policing all this taunting and stuff? Because it's a bad idea.
You're putting it in our laps.
Yeah.
In one,
sportsmanship's gone.
In one corner of the mouth, Manfred wants it policed, and it's up to the umpires to do it. In the other corner of his mouth, he wants all this hoopla, celebratory bullshit. Okay. So make up your mind, Rob. Do you want to do it, or do you not want to do it? Again, you're a completely weak sister commissioner. You acquiesce to the times. You're not strong. You are gutless. You need to figure it out. For the betterment of baseball and for the world, you should resign.
Oh, one can dream. Is there a recall for MLB commissioners? Let's get that vote started.
Yeah. I mean, we're recalling Newsom. We're recalling Gascon in LA. Why stop with them? Let's get Manfred out of there.
Yeah, it's a new age. It's a new age of baseball. Rob, let's
then get your own league. Go start your own.
Go the XLB,
your own woke league.
Yeah. The extreme baseball league, XBL, whatever you want to call it. Stop with this. So I'll tell you right now, it's April. The season is still young, and we're seeing more and more of this. Let the kids play. Let them bat flip. Let them do somersaults when they run their bases, and you're going to see problems. I don't care how much you push the agenda.
Well, it's a reflection of society as well.
That's my point. Yeah.
It's a reflection of society. And until you clean up society, you're not going to clean up baseball, because baseball is a reflection of it. And what you permit, you promote, blah, blah, blah. We either live with it, we either watch it, or we don't. We select our games we watch. We don't watch the teams like the Padres that like to do all that bullshit. We don't watch the teams like, I don't know who else, maybe the Astros who cheat. We become a little more selective, I guess. I don't know.
There's a right way to do things. And you hear that from the old school guys, this and that, but NUA isn't always better. I mean, social media has just ruined so many things.
Social media, the look at me movement, the look at me, look how bitching, look how cool I am. Well, first of all, you're not bitching. Second of all, you're not cool. Okay. And third of all, you're making an ass of yourself.
Yeah.
So if that's how you want to live and that's the way you want to be thought of, then be my guest. Be my guest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to see more and more issues. And you know what? Unfortunately, the umpires are going to be the ones who have to be, of course, the arbiters as always. And they're going to be the ones that, why are they overreacting as always? Right. I mean,
right.
Freaking baseball players acting like children. Well, someone's got to be the adult out there, and it's going to be umpires. Bill, what else, man? I saw this. This is just my real quick comment. Students at a Ohio State University in Columbus, they had a big sit down protest of police. I say pull all police off the campus. Pull all police. Take no calls to that college if that's how people are going to act in some of these cities, even, and pull police out. Don't send them in anymore. See how good you do. I'm tired of it, man. I'm so tired of this this attack on police. And
The only time you want a cop around is when you can't find one. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you do. Let's go one or the other. I say we either come in and we take care of business and we respond with an absolute iron fist, be firm but fair, or we completely back off. Completely backing off has never been something that I've adhered to, because you're giving up.
Yeah, withdrawing the troops isn't always a good situation.
I don't like it when I watch these pursuits that go at every hour on the hour in Southern California. You tune into the news and you've got a 2-hour pursuit. I don't like it when they go, we're into tracking mode. Okay. If the guy is driving so bad that you have to go into tracking mode, I say treat him as an active shooter and take the fucker out.
Oh man.
Okay.
What concept?
Take him out.
Eliminate the threat.
Take him out. I guarantee you that shit will stop. That shit will stop. But again,
one day, guys, Dana White and Bill Barnes will be in charge, and we can make the world a better place.
You know what? There will be some cleansing like you have not seen in your life. The shock and awe will be absolutely phenomenal.
No doubt.
If that happened.
Oh man. Well said. Bill, is there anything else you want to talk about today or touch on before we, I don't know. It's kind of a shorter show. Not that short.
We've probably gone at least an hour.
Hour 20.
Hour 20. Come on.
People got
after 25 minutes, your attention span's gone. So let's cut it. I think we had a good crisp show. We had some good things to talk about. I'm looking forward to a lot of comments, a lot of criticism, a lot of, just come on, take us on.
Bring it on. Let's go. Let's take this show.
You will be wrong, but we'll try. We'll make an effort. All right.
We love our listeners. We love hearing from you guys.
We do. And again, the stories I told today
do not reflect the views of the podcast.
My personal opinion on anything. In fact, I denounce that kind of activity. All right. I'm saying it again. I denounce violence of any form, especially violence against women. I think it's completely uncalled for. And violence on men by women, that's uncalled for too. Although I think it might be a little more acceptable at times.
Yeah, you have a few scars.
Jesus, whatever. Mental scars, physical scars, emotional scars. I'm a scarred human being. Okay. So like I say, it was meant as funny, ha.
We can still tell jokes as of now.
Tell jokes, people.
Governor
and not taking that freedom from us.
Haven't outlawed it quite yet.
Anyway, I wanted to be abundantly clear on that.
Abundantly clear. Good. As you should be, and we all should be. Guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Get Home Safe podcast. Another weekly Wednesday weigh-in. That's man, Bill, it's fun. We keep doing this every week, and
we keep, it's a definition of insanity. You keep doing crazy things over and over and over again, and you don't learn from it.
No, not at all. Well, guys,
let the insanity continue. We'll be here next week. I really like doing those little Facebook.
I do too. Little
props,
little warm up.
Getting people just completely, mouth breathing and salivating for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. I absolutely love it, Bill. Well, thanks for joining me again. Always fun. Guys out there, thank you for listening. Hope everybody gets home safe. Bill?
Get home safe. By all means, get home safe. And if you can't, call somebody and they'll get you home.
Absolutely.
Or to their home, maybe. I don't know.
Wherever you call home,
right.
Get home safe.